In today's video, we're kicking off the most wonderful time of the year by creating a nostalgic vintage Christmas tree. We're going to decorate the tree with shiny bright ornaments, colorful C7 lights, and loads of glistening icicles, but with a pet-friendly twist. Growing up, my grandma always made Christmas special. We would spend multiple days together covering fruits and nuts and chocolate for all her holiday visitors. We would craft pasta ornaments and corn husk angels and hang them on her Norfolk pine Christmas tree. On warmer days, we would head out into her garden, gather evergreen and holly branches, and create fragrant holiday wreaths, which always left my hands sticky, but my heart satisfied. When it comes to the way my grandma decorated the house, she really didn't have a theme. She adorned the house with singing bells, lace ornaments, oversized multicolored bulbs, and even sequined ornaments. Christmas at her house, it just didn't have a theme, but it did have memories, love, and it was always filled with good cheer. That's why this year, I'm throwing out the holiday trends, deleting the apps that flood my mind with popular Christmas decor, and I'm embracing the memories of what Christmas looked like and felt like when I was a little girl outside and inside my grandma's front door. Guess how much I paid for this bowl of ornaments at our local thrift store? These were in a plastic unmarked bag, and I paid only $8 for this entire lot of ornaments. So this shiny bright box is from 1946. This box came in green and red. And these are small blue ornaments. This box is from 1963, and I just love these pink ornaments, and I love the boxes. Next in line, I have two of these boxes that are from 1968. These boxes are okay, but I do prefer the cardboard boxes, so I have two of those. And then next up, Shiny Brite put out this blue box. I don't really love this box. I mean, it's blue and it's Christmas. It should be red or green, or at least brown like the old boxes, but I did want to collect one of those boxes. And then I have some Shiny Brite ornaments that are marked Shiny Brite on the cap, but they were made for a department store. Like here we have McCrory's. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Please correct me in the comments section. But they're all American made glass with the exception of a few German ornaments here. And then it's really hard to find inexpensive garland, but I was at HomeGoods the other day and I found this garland for $16. So I think that's gonna match the tree perfectly. The box that I'm dying to get my hands on is the 1957 cardboard Christmas tree box. I could not find one anywhere at an affordable price. When I got all those ornaments for $8 at the thrift store, I saw one of the boxes in their silent auction. So I started the bid at 30 bucks, and by the time I left 1 hour later, the bids were already up to $145 for one box. That is way too much. But I love the story behind that box because it was originally designed for transporting fruit. So somewhere I've got to find this box for under $100. Now, truth be told, the vintage look fits me to a T. Even though I was born in the 80s, I've always felt that my soul belonged in the 1950s. I grew up watching Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers dance across my screen. And I Love Lucy reruns filled my TGIF timeline. While most girls my age were singing Spice Girls songs, I was belting Barbra Streisand's latest Broadway hit. So I suppose it was just a matter of time until I wanted to create a retro Christmas tree. Let's get started on our vintage Christmas tree by adding 9 strands of C7 holiday bulbs. Prior to these C7 bulbs, there were C6 bulbs, which usually came in a strand of 8. Now, if one of those burned out, the whole strand went dark. and they got hot enough to set fire to almost anything combustible, and they were eventually replaced by these C7 bulbs. There were also C9 bulbs, and these were primarily used outside since they were water resistant. To be honest, I'm not sure if my grandma used C7s or C9s on the hedge that led to her front door. All I remember is the joy it brought me walking past a wall of evergreens covered in big, colorful lights every Christmas Eve as we entered into her house for the Feast of the Seven Fishes. You were destined to smell of fried squid for at least a week after that annual tradition. Vintage C7 lights are hard to come by in large quantities, and I do fear that they pose a fire risk. I've seen vintage style bulbs at the hardware store, but they don't seem to look anything like my grandma's beautiful strands. Thankfully, there is a company called True Tone that makes safe vintage style bulbs that actually look like their glorious retro counterparts. You can order them in sets or in individual colors. I ordered one box of every color and strung them one evening while sipping eggnog and watching Christmas Vacation with Grace. Afterwards, Grace composted the box for us, as she always does. I think Grace is ready to move on to ornaments. High five? Yeah, high five for vintage Christmas, right? Good girl. The Shiny Brite Company was established in 1937 by Max Eckhart. They adapted light bulb machines to create the classic Christmas bulbs we all know and love. I started collecting Shiny Brite ornaments recently, and I was immediately captured by their beauty and history. The name Shiny Brite was inspired by the silver nitrate coating inside the ornaments, which helped them maintain their shiny appearance. During World War II, the silver nitrate coating was often omitted, leading to the creation of colorful clear glass ornaments filled with tinsel to mimic the shiny effect. After the war, the company reintroduced the shiny silver coating and continued to innovate with new designs and new styles. I would love to find a box of clear ornaments from the war, but I've never seen one in person, and they retail for hundreds of dollars online. I have most of the Shiny Brite ornaments on the tree. I do have some Shiny Brite ornaments that have stripes and stars and dots, and some that are even multicolored. But since I have so few of this variety of ornament, I think for this tree, I'm gonna just do single colored Shiny Brite ornaments. Now what I need to do is decide if I wanna use my grandma's Christmas bells on the tree or not. I think these are vintage Christmas bells from the 1980s, and they play 12 different Christmas carols. The wire is pretty heavy and worn out, so I think what I might do instead of putting them on the tree is display them with all of my Alaska amaryllis, which are going to go in these pots. So next up, let's put these beautiful glass beads on the tree. I wanted the look of tinsel without the danger to my pets, so I used a box of clear glass icicles to create a similar effect. During World War I, lead was used to make tinsel. I sometimes come across a box when I'm antiquing, and I have noticed that the boxes of lead tinsel are much heavier than their new counterparts, which are made of PVC. My grandma had 7 children, and the house was always buzzing with dozens of people. She had a wooden kitchen table and a wooden dining room table, but during the holidays, folding tables with handmade tablecloths were in every corner of her home. On these tables were piles of holiday tins filled with homemade biscotti, pizzelle, and our chocolate-drizzled creations. Her house was always a bit chilly on Christmas morning. I think that was because family members were continuously coming in through the downstairs glass door and letting in some cold air each time they opened and closed that door. To stay warm, she would give everyone colorful knitted booties. These lived in an old chest under her black rotary phone, where I would often take notes for her. It was commonplace to wear a lovely velvet dress, black tights, and bright blue knitted booties with white polka dots on Christmas morning. The moment of truth. Here's the before, and here's the after. She made everyone in our family a large stocking. She stitched our names onto the cuff of every stocking, and she would fill them with oranges, Tic Tacs, silver dollars, and always include a toothbrush. I love how she wrapped presents. Always nice wrapping paper, but never any bows. How in the world did she get everything done? My grandma has been gone for almost 2 decades, but sometimes, and especially at Christmas, it feels like she's still here. If I could describe her in one word, it would be selfless. Perhaps Christmas was so special at my grandma's house because she was always thinking and doing for others and never for herself. All of us, her family, me, we're beneficiaries of her selflessness. I hope one day in heaven I can give her the kind of Christmas she gave me. I hope she's up there, sitting down, putting her feet up, and dunking a biscotti that someone else made into a cup of piping hot tea. Well, it looks like our vintage Christmas tree is almost complete. I couldn't find a shiny bright tree topper at our local antique store, but I'll have fun hunting for one in the years to come. What did your childhood Christmas tree look like? Did you have a train under your tree or a Christmas village? Did you use tinsel or bubble lights on your tree? Did anyone have the classic aluminum tree with the color wheel? I've only seen those in books, and I think maybe once at a thrift store, but I would love to see one glowing and that light spinning around in someone's home. Thanks so much for joining me for this walk down memory lane as we decorate a vintage Christmas tree just like my grandma's. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you sometime real soon. Bye, friends.